Okay, good morning. Good morning. So, I took some time to think about a lot of stuff during the last hour or two in order to listen to the previous video. The long one regarding energy. Actually, I didn't plan to speak about it. It was actually almost like a little bit more than an hour, and I wasn't. I planning it all to speak about thermal solar energy and the issue of storing energy. But I think it's actually it's very interesting, and also I have a little bit of background because I worked close to 6 years in a company that is doing it. And although I was part for a couple of months of the team, the very big team that worked on the Ivan power plant in California, close to the Nevada border. I drank far too much alcohol during this time. But okay. We are past it. I almost never drink alcohol now. Everything is so big and cheap in the United States. Especially food. Anyway, what I really wanted to speak about is more advanced capacity issues regarding the Neros, and also about nuclear power. But I'll probably not do it now because I want to advance with the plan, with microscopic examination. So in any case, I hope you enjoyed the thermal solar review. Still have a lot to say about it. But maybe later. Again, it's interesting because even though it's not that successful, in Earth, it should be said that Brighthouse Energy, the company where I worked for, is not that successful, and was always struggling, and it was always dependent on. It will always depend on governments, subsidiaries. But the issue of space exploration, whatever happened to this company, it's kind of, in the grand scheme of event doesn't really matter, but the technology, the possibility exists, and my estimation is that it might be very beneficial for a space situation in which you would want utility scale power plant, not just small generators that for 4 people, a bit or something like that, but utility scale. But you will find yourself in a situation where you don't have raw material. You don't have fossil fuels, or maybe you do have fossil fuels but you don't want to use it, and you don't have radioactive material, or you cannot get it out of the whatever it is, or you don't want to use it. And you cannot, you don't have the material that is needed in order to build panels, like photoelectric panels that, it's not trivial. And again, mirrors are much simpler to build, specifically from the raw material point of view. Of course, so maybe I'll speak about it in another video. All of that is kind of in what I consider an intermediary process, of civilizations. I spoke about it in the past, that it's all of this discussion is related, I would say, to the period in the lifetime of civilization that it might not be relevant to humans at all, because as it seems to me now, humans don't have many more days, and certainly not epochs or area of times of space exploration. they are still speaking while the representative of another civilization is under torture, and so they're still moving their mouths and tongues. So I don't see much future. But again, there will be a future for other people. Other civilization that will replace you, and at the same time, I speak for them as well, even more so than for humans, because humans just don't want to move arms and legs, and this is why they are done. But in any case, I should say that the idea of the whole idea of power, as I see it, and I cannot prove it to you, but my intuition on the matter, and this also relates to thought experiments and actual experiments that I've done with the Neros, is that actually the whole issue of the thermal solar option and its usage in space exploration is, it's very promising in something important to think about, but it's relevant only kind of in what I would say is the very intermediary, I would say specific epoch or era in a civilization that when they still rely on the Lorentz law in order to and also on the classical, I would say, design of power blocks in order to generate alternative current. And this is where humans are now, and this is where they are since the beginning of the 20th century. And it's probably going to be like that, during the next steps of space exploration. And again, it doesn't matter if it's human or the people that hopefully will replace them. But so it's important, but nevertheless it's intermediary, because as I see it, at some point in civilization are switching to DC. AC is barbaric. It's required, and there was the famous historical argument between Tesla and Edison, but ironically Tesla was he favored AC, but the company that is named after him is famously using DC for their cars and not AC, even though in normal cars there is actually an alternator. So it's kind of the opposite of what we would think historically. Anyway, there are ways to create energy, in utility scale with DC, and then I don't see why AC is needed at all. It's needed because there is no better way to produce humans don't know how to generate electricity in utility scale with direct current. But if they knew how to do it, so why do we need AC? Maybe I missed something, but so I'd gladly get any comment on the matter. But suppose you knew how to do it to generate DC in utility scale. Why is AC any better? What for? You waste so much because of the sinusoid, graph the output and so much. So many utilities actually required transformation. So, but maybe I missed something. I've studied AC a little bit. In high school. Very low level, but I actually forgot a lot of what I've already studied. But I don't remember. I don't know of any advantage besides the fact that you can actually create it, then generate it. Because of the Lorentz law and the fact that you can actually spin a turbine using steam. But other than that, what's the advantage? I don't know. this issue, of course, is relevant to nuclear power as well, because in nuclear power plants, I mean, you always use traditionally, I mean, at least in the past, they used like power blocks, like traditional power blocks with steam and AC. So this I mean, it's still relevant. I mean, even if like your fuel is nuclear, like I mean, your radioactive material. Okay, so okay, so this will be actually let's like I mean title it as the second in the utility scale series, and hopefully the third one I will speak more about nuclear energy, but I don't know when I will actually conduct it. Like I mean, record it maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. But I mean, very shortly, I would want to actually examine 6 slides because I already prepared it like about an hour ago, and I mean, and it's important for like for us to continue. I mean, according to the plan, like of like the new crucibles and you know. Maybe even having a sandwich later today.